Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, bringing you another StarCraft commentary here on StarCastTV. Thank you once again, StarCastTV, for having me on here. What a cool channel. So proud to be a part of it. We got another game here with Zero, my favorite player. One of my favorite players, I guess. I don't know, maybe I would place him on top of my list, but there's several. Zero's going to be up here in the top right-hand corner of the screen. He, of course, goes by Queen nowadays. QueenTube is his ID, since he does a lot of streaming, what have you. I'm going to call him Zero, though, just because that's how I've known him for years and years. And he's going to be playing up against a player named Ssak, who is going to be the blue Terran down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. And you probably know Zero. If you don't know Ssak, well, I'll talk about both of these players a little bit, I guess. Zero, of course, won ASL Season 9. He's been doing very, very well lately. He's actually one of the players that has been super strong over the entire time of Brood War since he started playing professionally, or since he started playing at a high level professionally, I guess, in the Star Leagues. And I think he came on the scene around 2008-ish. And, you know, he's never really been bad. A lot of players have had big slumps where they were just not really contenders. And I guess maybe, you know, throughout those intervening 12 years, there's been times when he wasn't really on top. But it's just amazing that Zero has had the longevity to stay at the high level that he has been. That, you know, the very last OSL, when, you know, we had official, you know, Kespa Brood War, he was in the semifinals and almost got to the finals of the last OSL. And now here he is, 12 years later, getting to the finals and winning the ASL. So just amazing to see that. Ssak, let me talk about him for a minute. So Ssak, who is this barcode Terran player over here, by the way, going for a quick wall off at his natural expansion here. Zero just going for a normal 12 hatch build. It was into a spawning pool, so nothing too much to write home about there. But anyway, Ssak, if you don't know him, he was a pretty decent, like, team league player back in, you know, the early days. He actually played in, you know, the 2010 era-ish of StarCraft. And he was a decent player. You know, he would win a few games in the pro leagues. I think he got into the very beginning rounds of some Star Leagues, but he was never a real contender, not like Zero back in those days. But after, you know, StarCraft 2 Revolution and all that kind of stuff, and Reclamation happened with Brood War and all that kind of stuff, he actually did kind of pick his game back up again. And so Ssak has, you know, did pretty well. I think he won it, and I don't know if you call it an OSL, but he won an on-GameNet tournament in, I believe, 2015 or something along those lines. So he actually had a period in, well, let me see if I can remember. It's 2015 or 2017, somewhere in there, where he actually was playing at a really high level and was really a strong force. But recently, not as much the last few years, although he appears to be possibly making a bit of a comeback. He's been playing a lot more strongly and placing in some tournaments recently. So we'll see if Ssak is able to kind of come back into the scene in a good way. Any case, so that's Ssak for you. He's basically someone who has also been around as long as Zero, doesn't have the accomplishments of Zero, though. And so we'll see if he can put up a fight against Zero here in this match. We've got an engineering bay going on here in the bottom right here. Just sneaking that in. Maybe, I mean, it's an engineering bay that's not being put in the perfect timing to you know, be a counter to Mutalisks, but he's probably going to want it. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. He wants to get his upgrades going as soon as possible. That's why we have an earlier engineering bay. Sometimes you see Terran players will actually just get their engineering bay just in time to get turrets out right before the Spire hits. And there's the Spire going down now, by the way. But Ssak is like, no, I want to get this upgrade going earlier on. We actually could see him go for some kind of a timing and try and hit with +1 weapons before the Mutalisks are out or something like that. Not expecting that right now because obviously he doesn't have any barracks. He only has one barracks. He's just making a second barracks. So we're not seeing him make a lot of forces at this point. He's continuing to make SCVs, continuing to power up his macro as well. And I'm almost a little bit surprised to see Zero not get a third base yet. And just as I say that, he's going to come over here. He's actually going to kill the Ursidon. Ursidon, no! But, you know, sacrifices must be made in order to make a hatchery. In order to make a hatchery omelet, you have to crack a few Ursidons. I don't know. The Ursidon was unfortunately in the spot that he needed to put down the hatchery, so he actually had to kill it there. And Ursidon goes down, hatchery goes up, and second gas going down as well for Zero, by the way. So he's going to have a strong gas income going on, and it looks like when this Spire pops, he's going to have enough for about 6 Mutalisks. Is he going to have... Yeah, there's the Overlord pops out just in time as well. Perfect timing, of course, out of Zero here. Now we have Ssak powering up as well. Finally getting those barracks up. He's been going for his entire economy. Just, I mean, this is the power of... This is what you want to do with all races in StarCraft, but I think especially with Terran, is if you can defend with very few resources, then you can get away with developing your advantages later on in the game. So that's exactly what you see him doing here. And now he's building these turrets in anticipation of the Mutalisks, which are just popping out right now. And so yeah, so defending his front door with as little as possible in order to get all of this stuff going. And now that he's got his economy going, he's got his tech up, he has the +1 weapons almost upgraded. Now he's in a position to start producing units and making use of them, and actually pushing out with a little bit of a medic marine force just as these Mutalisks come in here. A little bit risky to let his door be a little bit open, but at the same time it's also risky to let the Zerg think that you're not going to do anything and that they can't just make a bunch of drones behind this. So he's actually pushing out a little bit here. He's got just this small force with just a few medics. And the Mutalisks are coming in to harass. Zerglings are going to sneak in as well. And this is exactly what I was afraid of a little bit. The Zerglings getting right in there. Of course, he does have Marines coming back here. He's going to be able to fall back to these turrets and defend with just his reinforcement Marines. But in the meantime, Zergling's doing significant damage here. But you know what? He says, you know what? I don't care. I'm pushing across the map. Oh, no. No, he can't lose. The medics are by themselves. He gets a free medic kill. A second free medic kill. The pathing was just an epic fail. It looks like he just kind of moved commander, attack moved up here, and his forces split up, and all the Marines went here, and the medics went over here, and so he got 2 of those 3 medics for free, and that, look at this, all these Marines are just, he's still even injured. The medic can't heal him fast enough because it's just by herself. So, a huge, huge blow. This was, and look, he didn't even make any sunken colonies or anything. We didn't even see a major reaction out of Zero. Because he was able to get those medics in time, and now the Marines, without any medics to help them at all, are just going to die to these Mutalisks. Huge, huge, huge. I don't even want to call it a misplay, because it was probably just a pathing thing, right? And, you know, imagine if this force over here of a random few Marines was an entire squad of medics, or medic Marines or something like that, then he'd be able to get this a lot faster. He may still get it, but I don't think so. I think these Zerglings are going to be able to help clean this up, all these injured Marines very quickly. Yeah, so that's going to go down. No, the Salt is going to fail here for Ssak. And now he's just forced to play defense, basically. The Mutalisks, which are now in a decent clump, he looks like he's got, yeah, the full squad of 11 Mutalisks over here, is able to come in and just one-shot Marines, one-shot SCVs, and one-shot Sakk's motivation in this game pretty quickly, because I don't know what he can do right now. He's stuck in his base. He can't move out. He's lost a bunch of medics and Marines right now. Obviously, he is macroing up fairly well, so he does have another squad of medic Marines, but it's not going to be too difficult for Zero to be able to deal with that. I'm going to check back to see real quick, does he have a Hydralisk Den anywhere? No. He is just actually, I mean, there is a little bit of a window of opportunity here, because Zero is not teching behind this. His Mutalisks are all at pretty low hit points. He's even lost one of them. And he's replacing it with another, I guess. But this is maybe a little bit spooky for Zero, because if Ssak just pushes out with another force, you know, he hasn't gotten the lurkers behind this, and now he's going in with Mutalisks and just a handful of Zerglings. He's going to lose several Mutalisks. Actually, no, I heard one Mutalisk die, but maybe he didn't lose several. I'm sorry. I thought he was going to lose more than that. Does he have armor? Yeah, he has armor on the Mutalisks, so that's part of why. It's going to counteract the +1 weapons on the Marines. So those Mutalisks are going to be able to handle things a little bit easier. And he's actually, this is kind of crazy. Zero's just going basically all in mutas. He's just making mass mutas with Zerglings as well, going in for a huge attack, just pounding away on that medic Marine force, and he just has too much stuff. Too much stuff. And now Ssak is forced to defend at his natural expansion and stand behind the turrets and stand behind the depots in order to defend. So again, every time Ssak moves out to try and put pressure on Zero, he just gets thwarted. And it's interesting because that's kind of part of what Zero's doing, is just making lots of forces. It's almost as if Ssak is expecting Zero to be expanding behind this, or to be teching behind this, or to be going for more econ behind this, and present him with an opportunity to move out onto the map. But he's just not giving it to him. And now these Marines are actually a little bit of trouble, because there's no medics. Oh, there's one medic snuck in there, but these Marines are all stimming a lot, so the medics are basically out of energy. So any future battles he's not going to be able to do, he's not going to be able to heal up very well. These Mutalisks are just dancing in. This is like dancing in enemy territory, just continuing to go behind the mineral lines and just continually attack over and over again. And here's the thing, he has another group over here at the front. Is he going to combine both these forces? I think he's going to, oh, he's going to combine both the forces of Mutalisks, diving in with Zerglings at the front line to distract, while diving in with like 20 Mutalisks in the back as well. And he's actually falling back a little bit, waiting for the Marines to clump at the front. No, he's actually just going to fall back. The Zerglings are doing a pretty significant amount of damage over here. He's killed a lot of SCVs. And now he comes in, now that the Medic Marines are low, he comes in with the Mutalisks to finish him off. And, yeah, he killed off a lot of stuff with the Zerglings. I'm surprised he didn't attack with both forces at once, with the Mutalisks and the Zerglings, but it didn't even matter. He was basically just, I mean, look at the drone count, 24 drones. He just made enough drones to get a decent amount at these bases. He didn't even put any minerals at this base. He just wanted this gas. And then instead of teching or macroing, he just made a bunch of stuff. And it turns out a bunch of stuff is a pretty good thing to have when you're a Zerg player. And, you know, Ssak he kept moving out and trying to put pressure. I mean, you can't just sit in your base as a Terran. You have to try and push out at least a little bit and pressure them into making a mistake or something. But I think he just fell behind early and could never get back into it. And in the end, it was, you know, a whole ton of Mutalisks. I didn't get a good count on it, but I think there was at least 20 Mutalisks diving in at the end here, just to finish things off. And seeing that, having no Medic Marines left almost, the turrets are dead. You know, there's nothing you can do about that. Just too much stuff. So, the power of Zerg overwhelms Ssak. Any case, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. And again, thank you to StarCastTV. Very, very cool stuff. And if you want to check out my YouTube channel, I have my own where I do more old school Brood War stuff as well. Right now I'm casting the OSL from 2004 all the way from beginning to end, for example. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. GG, and I will see you next time.